is a simple tutorial on how to cut a petal or tulip sleeve. So to draft your petal sleeve, the first thing you're going to do is to mark out your starting line. So let me take this as our starting line, half inch. After marking that, the next step you need to take is to get your sleeve cap height. And to get your sleeve cap height is your bust circumference divided by 12 plus 0.5 inches. Now if I place my tape, my sleeve cap height is 3.5 inches. I'll draw a straight line. So I'm using this as my sleeve length. You can go ahead to measure your sleeve length before doing that. Now measure around your armhole. Whatever you have divided by 2, my armhole is 16 inches. Divided by 2, to give me 8. I'll mark. Now from this point, I'll connect it to this point here. After connecting, I'll place my tape and I'll divide from here to here into 2 equal parts, and I will mark. I'll place again. I'll divide what I have here into 2 equal parts and mark. Then from here to here, I'll place again and mark. Now what I'll do is I'll come up by half inch here, come down by half inch here. I'm trying to draw my curve, my armhole curve. So I'll connect from here to here and then connect to here. So this is the part that will be going into your armhole. Now you need to measure where the sleeve will stop. Then where the sleeve will stop, measure around it. When you measure around it, you're going to go ahead to mark. Then add your sewing allowance. Please ignore the noise at the background of this video. Now you go ahead to connect. Now after connecting, you want to go ahead to measure the armhole of your dress. If you measure the armhole of your dress, you can now go ahead to measure what you have here. If it matches the armhole of your dress, you leave it that way. If it doesn't match, you can just adjust it or readjust it to match, so that you don't have any excess by the side. So you now add half inch on top, which will serve as a joining allowance. Then what you do is to cut out your sleeve. Then you now alter it to get your petal sleeve. So I'm going to get another pattern paper. We're going to trace out and recut another side. So you want to come out a bit towards this side. Then I'm going to go ahead to connect. Now when you're connecting, you want to note your center point. Then you go ahead to connect. If you want it to be more open, you can just go ahead to go higher. But from what we have at the sleeve, it's a bit closed, right? Then what I'll do is to cut this out. Let me give it a slight curve. Now what I'll do is I'll place it again over to this side and I will trace out. When you're cutting, you want to note your center point. So I'll keep this aside. So this is what you have. This is your sleeve. Then when you now join it, this will now be the center part. Now, but from what we have there, it looks like it has a little gathers at the upper part. So wherever you're slashing here must align with this part also. You can just go ahead to notch it a bit. Notch here. It's not a must that this area I'm notching is where you will notch. Then you place here. I'll also notch here and notch here. Now what I'll now do is to go ahead to slash it open. So I'll open this up, then open here up. Now when you're placing it, you now open it a little so that you can have that little gathers or pleats at the upper part of your sleeve. Now when you cut it, you have added extra to it, right? Then you now place it on each other. Then you have that gathers there. Then you now attach it to your dress.